Hey there friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today I've got another Destiny 2 video for you guys, this one being a Stasis Warlock build for the brand new Onslaught activity, and I've been really enjoying this one because it provides a good amount of survivability. You can take down tormentors and champions pretty easily, and also is a safe play. It might not be the most exciting build as far as being super aggressive in the enemy's faces, but I find the biggest issue that I have in Onslaught is randoms rushing in and dying and leaving me as the last surviving member in a spot where I'm defending the objective or trying to take down the boss. And yes, they can respawn, but don't forget, if your team wipes after tier 30, then you go back to orbit, and that can be immensely frustrating after you get past tier 40 or you get to the final boss on tier 50 and you spent all that time, energy, and effort, and then you get kicked to orbit because your team wipes at a point that is very, very frustrating. So this build should help not only you survive, but also your teammates as well. Now, I am running as my weapons the Appentance Stasis Trace Rifle. I like this one a lot, especially with Overflow, because it feels like I have a ton of ammo for it at any given time. Then I'm running the Title. You can run whatever Void SMG or AR here that you want, but preferably with destabilizing rounds and repulsor brace. You'll see the crowd control that I have, freezing an enemy, getting the kill with the Title, getting that destabilizing rounds, plus I get the overshield with the repulsor brace. It's a very nice combo. Then we've also got Leviathan's Breath. This one is hugely underrated right now in my opinion. I think everybody should have this in their arsenal. Great for unstopped champs, great for tormentors, and overall just a very good weapon that I think does more damage than people expect. Plus, since you can rally to the flag right before the boss, you'll have your 2 stasis turrets, and then you'll also have your Leviathan's Breath, so you can kind of stay out of danger and do a ton of damage to the boss. So that's why I like this combination. I'm running Osmiomancy for the stasis. Obviously, this is one of the best exotics in the game even still. Double cold snap grenades and increased secret travel distance, all that kind of good stuff, which is really, really nice. But let me go into the subclass now. We've got the Winter's Wrath, normal stuff, Healing Rift to stay alive for sure. Penumbral Blast is actually very, very good, especially if you can chain the freezes to different enemies. Cold Snap Grenade, obviously then I'm going to use the Bleak Watcher. This is going to give me the Stasis Turrets, slowing and then freezing enemies. And then also Ice Flare Bolts, shattering a frozen target, Spawn Seeker that track and freeze other nearby targets. So that can work out very, very well. Then I've got Whisper of Fissures, Rhyme, Conduction, as well as Durance. This is going to really help out overall for your survivability. As far as the mods go, I have Stasis and Void Siphon, Fastball, Grenade Kickstart, Impact Induction. We've got the Unflinching Stasis Aim, Void Damage Resist, and then Void Reserves. We've got Double Void Weapon Surge and Better Already, and then finally Distribution, Time Dilation, and Bomber. Those are the combination I like. You can adjust those as you need be. This build doesn't really take into account the artifact mods this season, and I think this is a good thing because it will be a useful build not only now, but also going forward as well, which is something that I very much enjoy. As far as the gameplay, obviously you're going to start every encounter with one of your turrets. I would be careful, unless you're on the boss, don't toss both of them down right away, because oftentimes you don't need them, especially if in the Onslaught you are defending the objective and you have turrets up as well. Your turrets are going to be significantly more effective when the enemies are frozen and they're essentially stuck in one spot, and your turrets are just able to go to town. So you don't really need to put down 2 of your stasis turrets at any given time. Start with 1, see how it goes. Also remember, your melee is very effective as enemies get closer and closer to the objective as well. Now, as far as the damage goes, your primary is going to be the Leviathan's Breath. I find, especially on the normal difficulty, you have plenty of heavy ammo if you are able to do the side objectives and making sure that you rally the flag when you go fight the boss. And both of those will lead you to have an abundance of ammo, especially if you do have on a heavy ammo finder as well. Now, some other things to keep in mind. I do believe that this build it really shines with randoms. If you are playing with a set team, you can probably synergize just a bit better. Whereas with randoms, this can be very effective because it allows you to play kind of a little farther back or a little bit more aggressive and still be pretty much safe all the time, because you're going to constantly be freezing enemies, constantly stopping them from getting to the objective, and also slowing them down so your teammates can go ahead and get those kills as well. Now, this is the type of build that might be for a more passive player at times, and I think that's all well and good. I do have plenty of builds that are more aggressive. I think a solar build for the Warlock, or even an Arc build, that's what I'm working on next. Both of those will be very aggressive builds, and you're going to be able to get in the enemy's face just a bit more. But there's plenty of exploding enemies. There's lots of other problems to look for. The enemies will teleport or go invisible and get on the zone if you venture too far away from it. So I definitely recommend staying closer to the zone with this build and making sure you put your turrets far enough out that you're able to slow and freeze the enemies before they get close. That other nice thing about letting enemies get just a little bit closer to the objective is that when they spawn the orbs that you throw at the objective to heal it, you will actually not have to travel all the way across the map in order to get one and then toss it back at your objective, and then all of a sudden you have more enemies spawning there as well. So I think one of the things that I see from a lot of people, they're killing enemies too far away from the zone. Yes, that's good because you get to keep them from ever getting close enough to do damage, but then you won't get the healing balls as well. So I definitely think that's a double-edged sword there. Now, the rest of the gameplay is pretty simple, straightforward. Just use your trace rifle until you're low on ammo. Make sure you get a couple shots in on the weaker minor enemies with your SMG to get the destabilizing rounds as well as the repulsor brace going. But then you're going to swap on to any yellow bars to your trace rifle, and it does pretty good damage if you're able to get headshots too. I have overflow on mine, and generating those extra stasis crystals can be very, very nice. I'll have an overshield as well pretty consistently with this, and so overall it's one of my favorite builds that I've been running, especially as I'm trying to generally go through Onslaught without having to worry about my teammates so much, because I've had times where they completely leave the game and I'm still able to keep on with the objectives because I am able to keep the enemies at bay and clear them out pretty quickly. So overall, I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this build? What's your favorite build to run in Onslaught right now? I'd love to hear from you guys because this activity has been a ton of fun, and I want to test out every day different builds to see how they work, to see how much fun I can have with them, and see which one I am going to enjoy the most, especially as I change back and forth from the regular mode to the legend mode as well. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, helps me out tremendously, shows you want to see more Destiny 2 content from me going forward. I hope you have a good one. My name is JoPa. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.